This section of the course is an introduction to the online IEP Family Information and Cover page, commonly referred to as Page A and the Family Information page. When possible, we have included screenshots taken from the web IEP to help illustrate and explain the information. The content of this learning module is to support the development of quality IEP writing. Supplemental resources are available for navigating the software application of the web IEP, commonly referred to as the Iowa IDEA 2013. These resources can be found through eHelp within the web IEP and through EduVision's Iowa IDEA channel found on the Grantwood AEA homepage. Our learning target for this session is to introduce you to the basic components of the web IEP Page A and what information is required to be entered on the page of this IEP. Feel free to pause, go back, or print specific information as you proceed. The cover page is the first page of the IEP and will be where you will start each IEP. It includes demographic information, documentation of procedural safeguards, and a record of the participants at the IEP meeting. You can start a new IEP if the student's current IEP status is validated or indicated by the letters VAL on the IEP overview page, or by having a student added in the case of an initial IEP for a child who has completed the child find process. Also, for a student who has already had a validated IEP in the system, you can click on the Pre-Planned button on the IEP overview screen. The Family Information and A page is accessed after clicking on a student's last name in your My List roster to the left of your screen. You'll be taken to the web IEP overview page for the student whose name you clicked. This page gives you access to archived IEPs, child find archives, associated files, print preview, and allows you to submit completed IEPs for review. You will need to click on the word under the Type box to access a student's most recent IEP or to begin a new IEP. To access the A page, click in the A tab and you'll be taken to the A page. This is the Family Information page. This page is the first page that must be completed when the IEP being developed is an initial IEP. All other IEP types will not require the completion of the Family Information page. If the IEP being developed is not an initial and no changes are needed to the family information, the A page will be the first page of the IEP to be completed. When you open the Family Information page, the first thing you must do is enter student demographic information, including the student's name, date of birth, gender, grade, district, building, and the language spoken in the home. The Student tab under the Family Information page also requires the indication of a student's race and ethnicity. The selection of race and ethnicity are determined through a two-part question. Is the student Hispanic or Latino? What is the student's race? An indication of who made the determination is also made. Parent report or self-report is strongly preferred in the determination of race and ethnicity. If parent or self-report is not possible, follow your district or AEA procedures for making a determination. The federal definitions of race and ethnicity can be found in the AEA Special Education Documentation Guide. It can also be found in the web IEP system by putting your mouse cursor over the hover or H button on the Family Information tab. In this section, record the parent name, address, phone number, and email. The information on the Adult tab of the Family page will be used by the system on all IEP documents. Select from the drop-down menu the adult's relationship to the student. All critical special education processes require someone to serve as the role of a parent. A parent may be biological parents or adoptive parents, a guardian, an individual such as a grandparent, step-parent, or other relative with whom the child lives with and is acting in the place of biological or adoptive parents. Also, an individual legally responsible for the child's welfare or an extended educational decision maker may also serve as the role of a parent. Finally, a surrogate parent may be assigned as the role of a parent. A more comprehensive definition of parent can be found for each of these parent types in the AEA Special Education Procedures Manual under the heading Determining and Defining Parent. This is an example of what this section would look like for a student who lives at home with both parents or a single parent. This is an example of what the parent section would look like for a student whose parents are divorced and one parent has primary custody. This is the A page, also referred to as the cover page, which is composed of two subtabs, including meetings and attendees. This is the first page that must be completed when starting a new IEP or amendment, and the second page to complete when beginning an initial IEP. When you open the cover page, the first thing you do is to enter the type of meeting to continue. You must also enter a meeting date to progress to other pages of the IEP. Even if a meeting date has not been set, you'll need to enter a date in the future in order to save this page and go on to another page of the IEP. Once a meeting date has been established, you need to enter it back on this page. The program will automatically recalculate the IEP duration dates for you based on the meeting date. The meeting date must be the same as the duration from date for the IEP. When you click on the small calendar icon, a calendar will pop up. Select the month, the year, and the date for the meeting. Remember, you'll need to enter a date for the IEP meeting even if it has not been scheduled, or the program will not allow you to go on to another page. You can go back and change the date once a meeting date has been established, and the program will then automatically recalculate the duration from and to dates for you. The duration of the IEP dates is automatically calculated from the meeting date. The duration may be less than 1 year, but never more. If the duration is shorter than 1 year, use the calendar button to change the duration to date. There are some reasons for having a duration of less than 1 year, and some of them may include the graduation of the student, anticipated change in a program, a 45-day trial placement into general education, or a 45-day alternative placement related to student discipline, alternative placement related to student discipline, a short-term hospital or home instruction, or even an amendment IEP or interim IEP. Procedural safeguards require that a parent's rights are reviewed with them each year. Page A provides you a place to identify the name of the person who reviewed the procedural rights and the method in which this was done, such as a phone call, a letter home, or in person. Parents are to receive one parent's rights booklet per year. A copy of the procedural rights should be sent with the meeting notice. At the meeting, there should be an explanation of what is included in the brochure and to answer any questions the parent may have. This explanation is not to be used in place of the brochure. The program will automatically calculate the date of the student's 18th birthday. Dates for the notification of the transfer of rights are required no later than 1 year before the child reaches the age of majority under state law. In Iowa, the 18th birthday is considered age of majority. Also, date of marriage or date of prison term beginning, if convicted as an adult, are also ages of majority. In these two scenarios, these obviously can't be notified prior to 1 year. The notification requirement applies to the IEP written while the student is 16 years old. Use the calendar button to fill in these dates. Do not change the notification date on subsequent IEPs. Changing the date gives the appearance that notice was not given at least 1 year prior to the transfer of rights. Indicate the person's name or agency that provided outside written information that was used for the development of the IEP. Indicate the date the report was written. Outside sources do not include school or AEA personnel. Identify any source of written information that is being considered in the development of this IEP. On the Attendees tab under the A page, indicate the individuals who are present at the IEP meeting and their role. To add additional team members and those who are present, click the Add button. In the Persons Present at Meeting or Relationship to Student section, use the blue B buttons to fill in the names and positions. You may type in a person's name and position directly on the page without adding them to the bank. List all who are present. If the special education teacher is acting as the LEA representative or designee, his or her name should be listed as both the special education teacher and LEA representative and designee. This item communicates only that these persons are attending the meeting and does not indicate agreement or disagreement with the IEP. This item may be completed by the person acting as a recorder for the meeting. You have completed the unit for page A. Continue to the next module at your own convenience.